Because I hear it every day. I'm sick of it.
महात्मा महाराज की
Why don't we do it after we do the kirtan?
हरे कृष्णा।
Govinda.
आज हमारा परम सौभाग्य है कि हमारे बीच में श्रीमान महात्मा प्रभु जी उपस्थित हैं। आप में से कई लोगों ने उनके कीर्तन सुने होंगे, लेकिन शायद पहली बार देख रहे होंगे। कुछ लोगों ने शायद जपा सेमिनार अटेंड किए होंगे। तो महात्मा प्रभु जी श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी के वरिष्ठ शिष्यों में से एक हैं और हमारे संस्था में दीक्षा गुरु के रूप में भी सेवा करते हैं। प्रभु जी का जो जन्म है 1950 में लॉस एंजलिस कैलिफोर्निया में हुआ था। जब वे 19 साल के थे तो उनको एक भगवत गीता प्राप्त हुआ वहाँ पर। उसको पढ़ करके उनको बहुत आध्यात्मिक रुचि कर लगा और उसके बाद वो मंदिर गए, भक्तों से मिले। उसके बाद श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी को मिले उसी साल में 1969 में, 19 साल की उम्र में। और 1970 में उन्होंने श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी से हरिनाम दीक्षा और उसके बाद ब्राह्मण दीक्षा प्राप्त की। तो 1970 यू कैन इमेजिन 54 ईयर्स, पिछले 54 साल से प्रभु जी इस्कॉन में अविरत सेवा करते आए हैं। और उसके बाद टेम्पल, उन्होंने कैलिफोर्निया टेम्पल ज्वाइन किया, सैन फ्रांसिस्को बर्कले। और उसके बाद संकीर्तन लीडर का सेवा और कांग्रेगेशन डेवलपमेंट का सेवा, टेम्पल प्रेसिडेंट का सेवा, बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर का सेवा,
Toilet cleaning seva also, laundry seva, temple cleaning seva, washing the cars seva. I've done everything.
तो उनको इस्कॉन का एकदम 360 डिग्री व्यू जो बोलते हैं ना,
Yeah.
एकदम मतलब पीडीसी टू जीबीसी, दैट एंटायर रेंज,
No GVC.
एंटायर जो रेंज है, पूरा जो अनुभव है इस्कॉन में, कैसे भक्त ज्वाइन करते हैं, कैसे प्रगति होता है, क्या क्या संघर्ष होते हैं, क्या क्या चैलेंजेस आते हैं, सबका पूरा अनुभव किया है। और उस अनुभव का निचोड़ अभी जो वो वर्कशॉप देते हैं, ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज कंडक्ट करते हैं, जो उन्होंने पुस्तकें लिखी है, तो वो बहुत रेलेवेंट होते हैं लोगों के लिए, क्योंकि अपने अनुभव के आधार पर वे लोगों से शेयर करते हैं। उनको पता है लोगों के जीवन में किस समय पर किस प्रकार की समस्या और चैलेंजेस आते हैं। तो दैट्स वाई इज वेरी वेल नोन फॉर हिज वंडरफुल workshops and seminars which are very relevant to devotees and other people in general also. और उनका जो म्यूजिक के प्रति जो रुचि है, सिंगिंग है, श्रीला प्रभुपाद जी empowered him to sing also. तो ब्रह्म संहिता आप में से कई लोगों ने सुना होगा, शायद आपको पता भी नहीं होगा प्रभु जी का। वेरी स्वीट ब्रह्म संहिता, गोविंदम आदि पुरुषम तम, वेरी अब्सॉर्बिंग, वेरी मेडिटेटिव।
Tamaham bhajami. You've heard that before?
Very, very sweet. I used to hear it non-stop when I just got introduced to Krishna consciousness those days. Very, very sweet, wonderful thing.
Lord Brahma's mercy on us.
Apart from that, he has many other kirtan albums which are available with devotees here. And then apart from the kirtans, he also conducts very wonderful workshops on Japa, which is going to happen just after the seminar here, first time. And on other topics like forgiveness and humility, vows, marriage, etc. Currently, he is based at Alachua, Florida, where he lives with his wife Madhu Janwa and his daughter Shama Mandali. And he travels for most part of the year all across the world, giving seminars, guiding devotees. And he also runs a company called Sattva. The website is www.thesattva.com, through which he guides people and conduct the online courses, etc. So he's coming to Pune after 40 years. Last time he came in December of 1983. I don't know how many in the audience.
I come once every 40 years.
Yeah.
So you just happen to be here at the right time.
So it's a great fortune. We have been trying for many times in the last 5-6 years, but somehow the schedule could not work out. Fortunately, it worked out now for 1 week. And tomorrow he's flying again. Today is the last day in Pune. He has been to Radha Kunjaveri temple. There he gave 2 days classes and seminars. Then he was at Vishalnagar BCEC center. There he gave a Japa seminar and the classes. Then he went to Hinjawadi. Yesterday he had 4 classes. Can you imagine? For 1 class, sometimes we have to prepare for 14 days. So 4 classes he had in the entire day, and then today morning is here now with us. And then he's giving Bhagavatam class. After that, 1 hour break, and then there's Japa seminar in the
devotees in Pune are exploiting me.
We are getting blessed. So let us very enthusiastically happily welcome Prabhuji to hear Shri
Hare
Radha Vrindavan
Krishna.
Chandra Mandir by once loudly chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for being
So,
here,
the
blessing us.
deities, the names, Vrindavan,
Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra.
Vrindavan Chandra.
And
When I first saw the temple, it reminded me a bit of Mayapur and of the Sri Chaitanya Mat, because you have a lot of grounds. Sri Chaitanya Mat is the headquarters of the Gaudiya Mat. And of course also Vrindavan, you have Chaitanya Leela everywhere, so, and Krishna Leela. Beautiful temple. Beautiful the thing that makes the temple beautiful is the devotees. That's what the real decoration of the temple, the devotee. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavalabha Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yashodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodha Nandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari Yasodhanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodha Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodha Nandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Chira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Sisi Radha Madhava Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Tai Gopamanandi Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shanti Nami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sanyavari Paschatya Desatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram. So, as you know, we are going to be doing a workshop on Japa, and I chose this verse because this verse, I think, I'm going to need I might need the harmonium also. Last night, I gave a class, and I sang the whole class. I sang in English. That's how I gave the class. Well, I spoke a little English, and I sang in English. It's an interesting way to give class. At least it keeps people awake. So I wanted to begin today's class with something which is relevant to the topic of the holy name. So I'm just going to bring the verse up on my computer. You all know this verse, I hope. There are many reasons I want to talk about this verse. And I think a lot of devotees don't fully appreciate that many of the verses of Shikshashtakam are directly speaking to the moods we should have while we chant, like what we should be feeling and what we should be praying for while we're chanting. And as I talk about this, you will understand this more clearly, and you will see how these verses are so important for entering into a deeper connection with the holy name. And that's what we're going to try to do today, and that's what we're trying to do our entire life, is more deeply connect with the holy name. Holy name is Krishna, so obviously the goal of bhakti is to connect with the holy name, to connect with Krishna. But there are ways to do it, ways to think about it, ways to feel about it, and these verses help us. The other reason I think it's important to discuss these verses, maybe in today's class we'll discuss more of these verses, because in most temples they recite these verses every day. And the idea of reciting these verses is to help us go more deeply into our japa. But sometimes when we recite verses, we don't reflect on the verses. And we don't we don't experience the deep emotion contained in these verses. And there is a lot of emotion in Shishastakam, and sometimes we don't get the emotion because we're trying to get the intellectual understanding of something. So you can understand something intellectually, and you can also understand something emotionally. So what is the intellectual understanding of this verse? Oh, I shouldn't want anything material. And what is the emotion? The emotion is this desire for pure bhakti. So you can understand it with your head, you can feel it with your heart, and a lot of times when we read, and especially when we recite, we're just trying to understand it with our head. And you know, when you recite something every day, you could kind of go blank when you recite it. And I think discussing the verse will help us. Shri Sri Radha Vrindavan Chandra ki jai, Shri Sri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Jagannath Swami ki jai. Hare Krishna. All right. Are you ready? I'm going to try to do something today which is the visual. This is the visual of what I'm going to try to do today, is take all of you and do this. Shake you and spin you around. And shaking you means kind of like, did you get it? Like making a point and like knocking it into you. And spinning you around is confusing you. And sometimes my teaching technique is to confuse you, and after I confuse you, to straighten you out. In other words, I spin you around and you get dizzy and say, where am I? And then I straighten you out. So I confuse you by saying something that may not make sense to you, and then I'll make it make sense. Because a lot of what we understand about the holy name is partial. And so sometimes when I explain it from another angle of vision and you haven't heard it, it makes you dizzy, so to speak, because you don't understand it. And whenever you're trying to understand a new idea, you always understand it through your old idea. But in some cases, I'm trying to extinguish your old idea and replace it with the new idea, which is bigger and broader. And so sometimes it confuses you. So I just want your permission to shake you up and confuse you. Do I have your permission? That's my goal. But aside from that, that's just the method. What my goal is to help you understand the process of chanting and the holy name, hopefully in a way you haven't understood more deeply, and in a way that's going to help you improve your japa, and in a way that's going to stick with you for the rest of your life. Something that we begin here. Maybe many of you have already begun, maybe some of you haven't, and we're going to just take it further so that 10 years from now, when I see you, you'll say, oh yeah, I remember that japa workshop. That was the day my japa turned in a better direction. I understood it more deeply. At least that's my goal. And from your part, from your perspective, all you need is the desire to improve your japa. That's all you need. Can I tell you a story? This is a beautiful story. One devotee was doing amazing service. And Prabhupada said, the devotee said to Prabhupada, it's all your mercy. Right? Because that's the politically correct thing to say when your spiritual master glorifies you, right? Isn't it? Isn't it the politically... Oh, Guru Maharaj, it's all your mercy. Like trying to be humble and not take credit. And Prabhupada said something really interesting. And I'll tell you when I come back in 40 years, I'll tell you what he said. All right. So he said, no. He said, no. He said, it's all your mercy, Prabhupada. He said, no. My mercy is for everyone, but you took it. So Prabhupada acknowledged his service and his success was his effort to take the mercy, because the mercy is for everybody, right? So the more you are determined, sincere, desirous to improve your japa, the more you'll get from what I'm going to give you. And even if you know what I'm going to give you, a lot of it already, you will still take what you know, it'll go deeper if that's your desire. This is what I've seen. I do Japa workshops that can go anywhere from 3 hours, hour and a half, 6 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, 6 days. And I've seen some people get more out of a 1 hour talk on Japa than a 6-day Japa retreat. It's possible. Because they were so ready to improve that they would just hear a few things, they go, that's it, I'm going to do this. And then they shifted and they improved their Japa. And for some people, that shift doesn't happen for maybe 12 hours, or they don't understand, they don't get it, they're slow, there's something resistant, something they're afraid of, like I'm afraid to surrender. Because if I chant good rounds, then Krishna will take everything away from me, or some fear, resistance, something's going on. And some people, even after a Japa retreat, 6 days, when they leave the retreat, they just go back to the way they were chanting before. So much depends on us. I will do my best to shake you, spin you, whatever I can, scare you, make you laugh, whatever will work. But ultimately, it has to be you. Okay? Are we ready? We are ready, but my computer decided it's not ready. I wonder if my battery's low. Yeah. It's time to plug it in. Do you have a place to plug it in? Yeah, okay. Well, let's start chanting while I'm plugging, and it's okay. Nadanam najanam dasundarim Bhavitam va jagadishukamai Mama janmani janmani ishvare Bhavatad bhakti ahaituki tvai Na dhanam na janam na shandarim Bhavitam va jagadishakamai Mama janmani janmani ishvare Bhavatad bhakti ahaituki tvai Na dhanam na janam na sundarim Bhavitam va jagadishakamaye Mama janmani janmani shware Bhavatad bhakti ahaituki tvai Oh, wait a minute. Do you have the adapter? We have an adapter. I'm just going to begin speaking because of the time restraints. So, many of you know this verse. It's very simple, Sanskrit. Dhanam means wealth. Na means no. Jana means people, but jana means I want followers, which also means I want adoration, I want distinction. It's false ego, pride, right? Sundari means beautiful. This means the opposite sex I want to enjoy. But since the opposite sex is the center of enjoyment, we can say they can also represent all forms of enjoyment that support that kind of enjoyment. And so the wealth and the followers, they're all part of one package. And then kavi means poetry. Kavitam, so what is the poetry? The poetry of the Vedas that enables you to progress materially into a better position, right? Kavitam va jagadisha, O Lord, kamaye. So I don't want those things. So what do I want? Mama, janmani, life after life, Ishvare, Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahaituki Tvai. life after life, all I want is bhakti without hetu. A hetuki comes from the word hetu. Hetu means cause. Means without cause. A hetuki is an adjective describing what kind of bhakti I want. Causeless. So we hear this word causeless. Sometimes it's confusing. What does causeless mean? And what does causeless bhakti means? Well, basically, if you look at the first part of the verse, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. I want bhakti, which does not desire these things. There's no material thing. There's no cause for me doing bhakti. Okay, I'll do bhakti if you will slip 1,000 rupees in my back pocket tonight. That's not causeless bhakti. That's bhakti with a cause. What's your cause? Money. Or what's your cause? I want this position. Why? Because if I have this position, I'll get respect. So I want to do bhakti to get respect. Or, you want to hear a joke? It's really fun. One sannyasi was asked, and he was very funny. And if you don't get the joke, I'll explain it. By how many people laugh, I'll know if I need to explain it or not. He said, he was asked, why did you take sannyas? He said, I took sannyas because I wanted to get a good wife. Okay. About 20 people figured that one out, yeah. If you take sannyas, be careful because sannyas is very attractive to women. So if you want to get a good wife, first take sannyas, you'll attract all kinds of women, and then you'll have a large choice, a large field to choose from, right? Because every woman likes a man who's renounced. Until they get married, then they don't want him to be renounced. Anyway, so maybe I want a position so I can get something. So causeless devotional service. Okay, why did I choose this verse? I chose this verse because it is essentially important to define what is pure bhakti, that we need to be very clear on what it is. Whether we're there, that we have it, or we're trying to have it, or we're even resistant to having it because we're afraid that this is too much of a level of purity for me. I don't know if I could live without these things. Still, we must define what is pure bhakti in our own minds clearly, because pure bhakti is our goal. When you join this movement, whether you know it or not, your goal is pure bhakti. That's what it's all about. So, you know the second verse of Bhagavatam, right? This Kaitava Dharma rejects. Bhagavatam is going to reject Kaitava, cheating religion. So what is cheating religion? Everything that is not pure bhakti is cheating religion. Everything that is not causeless, that I am serving you without any material cause, without any material desire. Anything other than that is considered Kaitava Dharma, cheating religion. And so the Bhagavatam says it rejects cheating religion. You're not going to get any cheating religion. If you want to have some fun, watch American television on Sunday, and you'll see some churches glorifying the Lord for giving them a new car. God is merciful. A check showed up, government gave me some refund on my taxes. I needed the money to pay my bills. God is merciful. It's all, they call this prosperity gospel. So it's all about what God is giving me, and what they call love is this kind of love where you get from God, and therefore when you get, I love you. Why? Because you give me. Bhagavatam rejects it, but it's really interesting. Sometimes Prabhupada says it kicks it out. That is a very intense, emotionally charged word for reject, right? So, okay. Give me that microphone. I don't want it. I'm rejecting it, all right? But if I kick it out, give it to me. I don't want it. And I throw it in his face, right? Isn't it? Why are you giving me this microphone? It's not good. This is the good one. This is a piece of junk. I don't want it. there's a lot of emotion in rejection, isn't there? Wouldn't it be nice? It's basically disgust. Reject. I kick it out. Kick it out. It's a kind of disgust. Wouldn't it be nice if we were disgusted with just this idea that I want money, fame, and women? I go, that's disgusting. I don't want it. Why is it disgusting? Because I just want to serve Krishna out of love. That's what I want. That's my goal. That's why I'm here. That's the project. That's why I joined ISKCON. This is what I want. So, my dear devotees, if you didn't know why you joined ISKCON, now you know. And if this doesn't work for you, we have many doors here. And, if you need a phone to call your mother and have her pick you up, yeah. This is why you're here. This is the name of the game. It's pure bhakti. That's why we joined. So that is our goal, even if you don't emotionally connect with that. Even if right now, today, you're thinking, I don't know if I could live, I don't know if I'm advanced enough to just be completely free from the desire to have anybody honor me, to just be a brahmachari, to not really be interested in anything material. So I don't think I'm ready for that. That's fine. You can adapt to it, right? You can get married. You can have a job. You can have a nice house. But the point is, you're doing this so that eventually you can come to this stage of pure bhakti. That's the goal. Maybe I should get married. Why? I think it'll be good for my spiritual life. Not because I want a beautiful woman and a lot of money and fame. I'm going to marry the most beautiful woman in Pune and I'll be famous. No. I want to marry someone who together will help me advance because I don't feel like I'm a brahmachari. Or I love to make money. I'm a Vaishya. I dream about making money. If I made 10 zillion crores of rupees today, I'd be dreaming about making 10 zillion crores of rupees tomorrow. I'm just a Vaishya to the core. Fine. No problem. We need to build a lot of temples, right? You can make the money. It's not a problem. So the point is, when we read this verse, the point is, this is the definition of pure bhakti. This is what we're doing. This is the goal. Even if I don't feel it fully, even if I only just understand it, but I don't feel it, we must be crystal clear that this is the direction I'm moving. This is the ultimate goal. Is that clear? If you joined ISKCON to get something from ISKCON, you have two choices at this point. Number one, purify yourself of that motive, or number two, leave, because Prabhupada many, many times has said, we come to ISKCON to serve. We don't come to fulfill our own agenda. That will contaminate the purity of the movement. So I remember when I joined, I didn't really I understood something, but I didn't understand bhakti in its purity. And I joined for many reasons. Pakoras was one of them. And I didn't have to work. That was a big reason. I dropped out of university, had a place to live, and I like devotees, and I like to chant, and I like to have fun. And so that's, and I read Bhagavad Gita and I understood it. But when I moved in the temple, they gradually broke the shocking news that you're actually not here for pakoras and having fun. You're actually here to serve Krishna purely out of love without any material motive. Like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? No. But I specifically remember that I didn't realize that completely until about 2 or 3 weeks in the ashram of hearing classes and said, it's not about you, it's about Krishna. Now, what I think is extremely important to understand, when you read this verse, Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavita Va Jagadisha Kamaya, I don't want women, I don't want money, I don't want fame. We all want fame, some honor. We all like it. In the Shastra, it says that Even the renunciates who renounce everything in this world have a really difficult time giving up the desire for honor. They've renounced everything. They're living under a tree for 10,000 years, eating leaves off that tree, sleeping on rocks on the ground, meditating all day. But to renounce the desire for honor, they gave up everything but that. Interesting, isn't it? It gets more interesting. Then there's another verse and says, and even if you find that sadhu that has even given up the desire for fame, if you glorify him, he'll relish it. So you might say, Prabhu, I really don't like to be honored. Yeah. But, it feels good, doesn't it? Prabhu, I just, I really, that kirtan you led, it was amazing. It's hard for it not to feel good, right? Why is that? Because the reason we came into the material world was to imitate Krishna. And Krishna is glorified, right? Uttama shloka, Shruta Kirti. He's glorified. And so anything that Krishna gets, we like it because we came here to compete with him. Is the opposite sex attractive? You join ISKCON, you try to become a brahmachari, and you're trying to understand, why is sexual attraction so strong? I just want to live simply. Right? Well, you want to hear a joke? Are jokes allowed in the temple, or you have to go outside to tell the joke? This joke sounds like, ladies, don't get upset with me, because the punchline, before the joke ends, it sounds like we're criticizing women, but it ends criticizing men, so you'll get the upper hand, okay? So just be patient, all right? So we could kind of reframe this joke that a brahmachari, he becomes a brahmachari and he's like, yeah, brahmachari, and then the interesting thing is, when you give up something, the thing you give up becomes more attractive than it was before you gave it up. It's weird, isn't it? Like, do you ever have that, ekadasi, freak out? Oh my, I can't eat chapatis today. That's happened to me. I haven't eaten a chapati in 46 years, but when ekadasi comes, oh no, I can't eat chapatis. It's like when you can't have it, it's like you start thinking about it, right? So you become a brahmachari. Yeah, I was never had girlfriends, never really interested. You become a brahmachari, and all of a sudden, every woman that walks in temple looks like a Bollywood star. Like, what happened? What's going on? So the brahmachari goes to Krishna and he says, Krishna, I have a problem with you. He said, what's the problem? He said, why did you create women so beautiful and yet so stupid? And Krishna says, so they'd be stupid enough to marry you. Okay, ladies, is that all right? You got the last word in that one. So, when you read this verse, and it says, Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim, some of us are thinking, but I do want those things, at least a little bit. Or I don't want them, but I do want them. I mean, I know my head doesn't want, money, women, all this. It's not good for bhakti. You got to just moderation and use it for Krishna or renounce it, right? So you know that with your head, but your heart doesn't always feel what your head feels, right? Isn't it? You hear that class, we should be austere, don't eat much. And it's like, yeah, you got it. I love it. And then it's prasadam time and they serve your favorite preparation. And your head's like, yeah, austerity. And your stomach and tongue are like, yeah, I really like this, right? So what you feel, what you think, they're not always in the same place. They can go in different directions. So I want to address this because this is really important. I don't want women, I don't want money, I don't want fame, I don't want any fruitive karma kanda benefit, any material benefit in this world. And you're reciting this verse every morning, and somewhere deep down inside you're thinking, but I do want it at least a little bit. I do like fame, yeah, right? And maybe I don't want women, but they're attractive. And this Casio watch isn't that great. If I had a little money, I could buy a better one. You know what I'm saying, right? This is the prayer we're supposed to be saying and feeling. So how do you say it and feel it when you don't feel it completely? What do? This is really important because my premise is this is how we should be praying when we chant japa. So what do you do when you want to feel something that you don't feel? Like if you didn't fully feel this, but you should feel it, and your head says, yes, this is good, but your heart says, I don't know. How do we deal with that? We're chanting, praying, Krishna, help me not want these things. Help purify me of these things. So saying I don't want it doesn't always mean I don't want it. It means I don't want to want it, right? Have you ever wanted something that you don't want? That, when you become a devotee, we drive you crazy. We make you not want what you want and want what you don't want. And you're like, what do I want this, but I don't. So that's the reality, that I don't want what I want. So yeah, do I want fame? Yeah. Do you like being humble? Is humble good? Yeah, humble's good. Yeah. Do you like being honored? Yeah. You like being humble? Yeah, humble's good. You like being honored? Yeah. What's going on here? Well, which one is it? Is it both, Prabhu? This is my brain, my Krishna conscious side saying, yeah, humble is good. And this is me saying, yeah, I like to be honored. Can you relate to that? That is reality, right? So when I say I don't want women, wealth, fame, I'm making a prayer. Krishna, help me not want this. That's what it doesn't have to mean today, present tense. It means this is the direction I'm going. I understand this is pure bhakti. Hare Krishna, help me not want these things, right? Now, there's something amazing about saying I don't want something that my heart wants, but my head doesn't. When you say I don't want it, you reinforce the energy of your intention to give it up just by saying I don't want it. And I can prove it to you right now. So please repeat after me. I don't want money. Okay, say it like you mean it. I don't want money. Say it as a prayer. I don't want money. Like Krishna, help me. I not want money. I don't want money. Unless you give it to me. No. Money's okay, but we're talking about money for sense gratification, right? Yeah. I don't want women. And if you're a woman, I don't want men. I don't want women. I don't want fame. I don't want fame. What have we just done? We have just, or at least we're trying to align the intelligence with emotion, right? By stating, actually, I want money, women, and fame, but I'm going to state I don't because intellectually I don't want it because it's a deviation from pure bhakti. So I'm going to say out loud I don't want it to reinforce that and create an alignment between what my head knows I should want and what my heart wants. Does that make sense? So this is something that what I'm sharing with you now, it's really powerful. Anytime, anywhere, when you're feeling the pulling of material nature, pulling you away from what your intelligence knows is right, and pulling you away from what you know deep down in your heart you want, but your conditioned mind and senses are pulling you away, just say out loud, I don't want that. And you'll be amazed how powerful that is just to state, I don't want that. And then state what you want. So Maya's pulling you this way. Say out loud, I don't want that. Now your intelligence is speaking. Before, your mind and senses are speaking. If you say, I don't want this, you're verbalizing your intelligence. And that intelligence, when it's verbalized, it becomes powerful. And then state what I want. I don't want this, I want that. You're energizing what you want. You're reinforcing what you want. And you're telling yourself what you don't want. And so it just kind of redirects you. As we know, what does Maya do? She redirects also away from what we want, isn't it? So do you ever get lost and not realize it? That's how Maya works. If you realized you were getting lost, you wouldn't get lost. So she's so subtle, you get lost. When you finally wake up and realize I took a left turn, just tell yourself, I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. So, does that make sense? That's exactly what this verse is doing. It's saying, I don't want this, and I want pure bhakti. Now, I just said something, I don't know if you picked up on it. I said that when I say I'm still impure, I still have this desire. At the same time, what desire do you have deep down deep in your heart? You have it, what is your desire? What do you really want? What your intelligence wants deep down in your heart, that's what you want, right? But the conditioning sometimes doesn't want it. So it's also good to kind of communicate with yourself and tell yourself, actually, this pure bhakti, even though maybe all the time I don't feel it, deep down in my heart, that's what I want. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, right? And as I said, if you're here for some other reason, there are many other movements which would be happy to have you, but not this one. We invite everyone to come. That's not a problem. But if you want to actually practice bhakti, then we practice it for the right reason, for a pure purpose. Okay. So, now let's look at this verse in relation to japa. The second line is, what do I want? I want causeless devotional service. I want to serve you I don't want to serve you for money, for wealth, for fame. What do I want to serve you for? Out of love. That's the goal. What does love mean? We have to define what love means because that's our goal. And if we don't define love, we're not defining our goal. And then we don't know where we're going. So what does love mean? Love means you care for the person you love. You care for their happiness. You want to see them happy. You want to see them satisfied. You don't care about your own happiness and satisfaction. You care about their happiness and satisfaction. That picture of Prabhupada hoarding the Jaladuta, that is love, manifest, incarnate, about as high as you're ever going to see on this plane of existence, of a jiva, soul. Getting on a boat, risking your life for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. That's love. When you're ready to risk your life for someone, for their happiness, that's love. Right? So we have the eighth verse of Shishastakam, and since I have the harmonium, I will sing it for you. Can I sing it for you? In English. Because I don't think you all understand Sanskrit, right? But you understand English, I assume. Okay, so this is the eighth verse. And this is the definition of love. And this eighth verse is the goal of the Hare Krishna movement. This is the goal, pure love. And what does pure love look like? You can love me. You can break me. You can leave me or embrace me. You can do anything that you want, but you'll always be the Lord of my heart. Okay, so I need you to sing with me now. You will always be always be. You will always be the Lord of my heart. Everyone, you will always be, always be. You will always be the Lord of my heart. That's love. Is that clear? So what is Radharani saying? She's saying, whatever you do, it's okay. It doesn't matter. As long as it makes you happy, it makes me happy. And it doesn't matter how you treat me, because if it makes you happy, then do whatever you want. And I will never leave you. And you'll always be the Lord of my heart. That's love. All right? That is the goal of the Hare Krishna movement, the 8th verse of Shikshastakam. That's our goal. Now, my dear devotees, guess what? That's the goal of Japa. Did anyone ever tell you that? No, they just told me to chant 16 rounds. I thought that was the goal of Japa. Yes? So now, when I ask you what the goal of Japa is, you will not say, Prabhu, the goal is to get my rounds done. You will say, no, that's not the goal. The goal is 8th verse of Shikshastakam, which you recite every day, right? You recite it every day. The reason I decided to put Shikshastakam in English is because I had personal experience. When I sing it, devotees go deeper into understanding what it means. Did you get it a little bit? All right, I'll sing it again. Let's get it a little more. Now you know the chorus, so you can all sing it with me. Okay? You can love me, you can break me, you can lift me or embrace me. You can do anything that you want, but you'll always be the Lord of my heart. You will always be, always be. You will always be the Lord of my heart. You will always be, always be. You will always be the Lord of my heart. Now, one of the most interesting things that I ever learned about the Holy Name was from a story that I heard when Prabhupada heard a kirtan group in Mayapur, and they were chanting. This is a professional group. So a professional group chants the Holy Name to make money. That's the reason they chant. So last night I demonstrated what their kirtan sounds like. Can I demonstrate it for you? This is what their kirtan sounds like. It's amazing. Give me money, money, honey, I want money. Give me more money, I'll chant more. Give me more money, I'll chant Hare Krishna if you give me money. Now, what you hear is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. But what the pure devotee hears is, I want money, I want money, I want money, I want money. So here's the story. When they were chanting the Mahamantra, Prabhupada said they're not chanting Hare Krishna, they're chanting money. That's what Prabhupada heard. He heard money, right? Isn't that interesting? Some of you know, if you've read Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Mayavadis chant Hare Krishna to realize that they're God. So now you're saying, I thought if I just chant 16 rounds, I will develop love of God. Now, this is my first spin. I'm spinning you now, right? I thought if I just chant, Prabhupada said, if you chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 principles, you will go back to Godhead. If you chant 16 rounds, you will develop love of Godhead. So when I ask you, why are you chanting? You say, I say, what is your goal? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And you say, I'm just chanting my rounds. My goal, what's your goal of chanting? 16. That's my goal. And I've got 8 more to go. And when I get to 16, goal is reached. And I say, okay, did you know that when some people chant Hare Krishna, their goal is to become God. And it's the same mantra you're chanting, sort of, kind of. And some people chant Hare Krishna to become wealthy. And some people chant Hare Krishna to become famous. Look at me, I sing beautifully. Don't you love the way I'm singing Hare Krishna? I'm such a great devotee, 'cause I chant so wonderfully. I have good tilak also, and I have a nice kurta, and a nice smile. You must love me. And the way I sing, look at me, look at me, look at me. Oh, you want to look at Krishna? No, look at me. Okay, so what does my mantra mean? You know what my mantra means, but I'm chanting Hare Krishna. Isn't that interesting? So, my dear devotees, when you chant, you are not supposed to just chant like a robot, mechanically. No. The intention with which we chant is everything. It is everything. Pure chanting is chanting with a pure intention. And what is that pure intention? I don't want women, I don't want money, I don't want fame. I just want pure bhakti. Ahaituki, no motive. That's what I want. So, when I'm chanting, that's what's supposed to be in my heart when I'm chanting. Oh, Krishna, please help me. I want women, money, and fame. Can you help me? I want it, but I don't want it. You know, as we talked, that conflict. That is such a beautiful way to chant when you know what you should want and you don't want it and you pray for it. Krishna, I don't want what I want. Can you help me want what's in my heart, not what's in my conditioned mind? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It's so simple, isn't it? It's so simple. Now, my dear devotees, we have a problem, and it's huge. There's a big problem in the Hare Krishna movement. And the biggest problem in the Hare Krishna movement is that the Hare Krishna devotees don't like to chant Hare Krishna Japa. I'm thinking we should change the name of the movement to the No Hare Krishna movement, or the I don't like Hare Krishna Japa movement. So, I'm not making up this problem. I've done research. I've taught Japa, I don't know, close to 4,000 devotees. And I've asked them, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being excellent, 1 being like you can hardly even lift your bead bag, 10 being you can't stop, rolling on the ground, crying, screaming, 5 being like, it's okay, 4 being not good, 6 being, it's nice, 6, 7, yeah. If I chant 6, 7 every day the rest of my life, I think I'll be Krishna conscious. 5, I don't know. 4, no. 3, definitely not. I'm going down. That's kind of scary to think about it, isn't it? Like if I ask you right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your japa? And one of the ways to understand how you rate it is, my dear devotees, if the way you chanted japa this morning was the way you chanted your last round in the end of this life, would that be good? You're okay with that? Because if you're not okay with it, that japa is not okay. You should chant japa every day, good enough that if that has to be your last round or your last mantra, you're like, yes, that's good enough to get me out of here. Doesn't that make sense? Like, why would you chant japa that's not good enough to make you Krishna conscious? Like, what's the point of that? Right? It's like you're trying to wash a greasy plate without soap or sand or something to get rid of the grease. What's the point? You just, here's a nice greasy plate. It's full of ghee. Can you wash it in cold water without soap? And you say to me, like, why would I do that? That's a waste of time. And I say, well, that's what you do with japa. It's the same thing. You're trying to get purified, chanting on a level 3 or 4. Like, what's the point? Put some soap and warm water on the plate if you want to clean it, right? So, the problem comes from thinking if I just chant any old 16, bingo, back to Godhead. Wait till you get to the security gates at Vaikuntha and they review your japa. And you go through the security gate and it goes bang, 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 bang. And you say, what happened? I chant 60 rounds every day, and they start laughing. You call those rounds? Get back there. Here's my little joke for all of you. If I ask you why you're here, you'll say, I'm here to improve my japa, this and that. And I go, that's fine, but I actually know why you're here. Would you like to hear why you're here? Because in your last life, you went to a japa workshop and you didn't pay attention. So you had to come back, take another body, and then now attend a japa workshop. So now, my dear devotees, if you don't pay attention here and apply what you're learning, guess what's going to happen? You're just going to flunk this class, have to take a new body, and go to another japa workshop because you're not putting soap and hot water on your plate to clean off the ghee. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm being a little extreme, so excuse me for being extreme, but the problem is extreme, and so I over-exaggerate. I'm not assuming all of you don't chant well, but I am assuming from experience that probably 95% of you in this room need to be chanting better than you are. Why can I say that? Because we do surveys in our japa workshops. On a scale of 1 to 10, where is your japa? And my dear devotees, the Hare Krishna movement is in a sad state with the Hare Krishna mantra. Can we actually call ourselves the Hare Krishna movement if our average devotee is under 5? The average of all the devotees I've researched who told me their level based on this scale, 5 is average, and 5 is not good enough to get you back to Godhead because you're just going this way. You got to at least be 6 to go up. And 7 would be a lot better. And when you're more advanced, 8, 9, 10, shoot hanam. Most devotees are under 5. Do you think that's a problem? Like most devotees, rounds are really not good enough for them to become pure devotees. That's scary, isn't it? Do you ever wonder if you're ever going to become a pure devotee? Well, most of you are young devotees. After you've been a devotee like 3 decades, you start wondering. It's like, is this actually going to work? Am I making it? And I believe that if you chant good rounds, you will not wonder if you're going to become a pure devotee because you'll be becoming one every day. But if you chant poorly, you're going to wonder, am I ever going to become a pure devotee? It's interesting, isn't it? So, you've gone back to Godhead, they put you through the security gates, and you said, I chanted 16 rounds every day. And they say, yeah, on a level 4. That's not really the Hare Krishna mantra. It was mixed with a lot of other stuff. That's not really. You didn't chant well enough to, you got to go back. Take another japa class, another life, another body. You have to learn how to chant purely. Right? So pure japa, it's so simple. It's so simple, you can completely miss it. It's right, because you can't see your eyebrows, right? Can anyone see their eyebrows? You know that example? It's right in, you can't see the nose on your face and it's right in front of you. Like pure japa is so simple. What is pure japa? It's simply chanting with the desire for pure bhakti. Wow, couldn't get any simpler than that, right? Yes? My dear devotees, the goal of japa is not to chant 16 rounds. The goal of japa is to develop love of Krishna. That's pretty obvious, isn't it? So obvious, so many devotees missed it. Why did we miss that? This is really interesting. Can I make you dizzy and shake you up with another realization I had? We are personalists philosophically, but when we start chanting japa, we become impersonalists relationally, and I will demonstrate it. Prabhu, is Krishna God? Oh yeah, he's God. He's a person. We're persons. We're all persons. Is Krishna in his name? Oh yeah, he's personally present in his name. Then I start chanting, Hare Krishna. And Krishna's here, and where's my mind? Is it with Krishna? No. Somewhere else. I wasn't a personalist until the first mantra, Hare Krishna. You know that first mantra when you start chanting, and it's like it's a message just sent to your mind. Okay, it's time to travel. You know that, right? Sit down and like, Gee! So Krishna has come to your house, and while he comes in the front door, you walk out the back door. You know, go sightseeing, right? It gets worse. It gets worse. Can I shake you up a little bit? This is a big thing, and this is especially to the older devotees, I'm saying this. We have created a problem in our movement, and I'm going to explain why. And this is maybe controversial, and maybe some people will feel offended, but I feel strongly about it. And if you disagree, you can talk to me later, but I'll probably scream at you for disagreeing. But I think we've done the greatest disservice to the Hare Krishna movement by saying what we all say, just chant and hear. Just chant and hear. Can I explain why I think that's the greatest disservice? Because it has made us all into robots. All I have to do is chant it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. What's in your heart, Prabhu? What do you mean, what's in my heart? I'm just chanting and hearing. Hare Krishna, Hare. 16 rounds, you just have to hear. Now, any of you who just try to chant and hear, know your mind is difficult to control. Yes? It's difficult to hear, right? Why is this a problem? Because when you just say chant and hear, you start to reduce the Maha mantra to a mantra. Just hear the mantra. And the mantra is no longer Krishna, it's a mantra. Does that make sense to you? I'm just trying to hear the mantra. You're not just trying to hear the mantra, you're trying to connect with Krishna. But when I tell you, just hear the mantra, in your mind, in your heart, you can easily process it as, oh, this is the process. You start on this beat, you chant Hare Krishna, you hear the mantra, and all of a sudden, the mantra becomes not Krishna in a relationship, it just becomes a mantra. Just hear it. Wait to hear it. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Like, it's a relationship. It's not a process of hearing a mantra. What is my pramanam for that? Well, you're all thinking, Mahatma Prabhu has gone completely crazy. He's offending every preacher that ever said that. No, here's the pramanam. Would you like the pramanam, the evidence? I have a lot of evidence. The first evidence is, some of you have heard Prabhupada say, just hear yourself chant. Okay, that's half. We got half. I agree with the hearers. Hear yourself chant. I'm not arguing that there's anything wrong with that. That is the process. Because if you don't hear, it means you're all over the place. You're not mindful. You have to hear to be present. Hear yourself chanting sincerely, other half of the equation, right? What does it mean to hear yourself chanting sincerely? What does sincerity mean? Prabhupada defines sincerity as serving Krishna without motive. Everything we talked about this morning would be a symptom of chanting sincerely. I am chanting to please Krishna without a desire to gain anything. Gyan karma anavritam. No jnana, no karma, no liberation, no material benefit, nothing. I'm just chanting to please Krishna. So, chant and hear yourself, and hear yourself chanting sincerely. That's the complete equation. So, my dear devotees, especially those who are teaching the holy name, if you just say chant and hear, there's a liability that the people you tell that to will not be understanding that the goal of japa is purity, because you didn't add the hear yourself chant sincerely part. And another problem, especially in India, and this is not a fault, it's actually a good quality, but it backfires when you take it to japa. Indian people they want to do everything perfectly. They're really into what is the right way to do it, right? And you were raised, Hinduism is a very ritualistic culture, so you do it at this time, this way, in this direction, on this day, and this hour, right? Much more than we as Americans are. We don't have that in our religion. You've got to take a bath. You got to do it at this time. You have to chant this mantra before you do it. Spin around 3 times. Look at the east. Offer this on this day at this time, right? Yes? I'm just observing. I'm not finding a fault with it at all. I'm just saying it's a conditioning. So when you say to someone, all you have to do is chant and hear, it goes in that system of ritual.
Well, what time do I do it? What direction do I do it? Can I stand and do it? Do I have to sit? Is it okay to walk? All those, how do you do it? Is it a problem if we just say, Om Purnam Adaha Purnamidam? Is that like a problem? Are we going to go to hell for mispronouncing it? What do you think? Like, what's more important, pronouncing it or understanding it? Obviously, understanding it. Yes? It's so beautiful. It's so important. Prabhupada, the man said, Srila Prabhupada, they are not pronouncing the Maha Mantra correctly. And Prabhupada said, yes, I know. But Krishna knows who they're calling. So could you imagine Krishna? He's like, they're chanting Hare Krishna. He's like, who are they calling? Are they calling me? Are they calling? Who's Ramo? Do I have a brother named Ramo that I don't know about? Krishna. Who's Krishna? You think Krishna's like that? What is Krishna hearing? He's hearing the heart of that devotee. Yes? So you're chanting, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Like, that's wrong. But what's right is your heart. You're praying for pure bhakti. That's what Krishna hears. He hears what's in your heart. So my dear devotees, those of you who train people how to make sure they understand, aside from pronouncing and hearing, that they understand the most important thing is what they're offering in their heart. And let them know what you're offering in your heart is a prayer for pure bhakti, because that's the goal of the Hare Krishna movement. Pure bhakti. That's the goal of the Maha Mantra, and that's what we pray for. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
आइए हम इस सुंदर प्रवचन के लिए जपा के बारे में महात्मा प्रभु ने दिया, उनको हृदयपूर्वक धन्यवाद देंगे 3 बार हरि बोल बोलकर। हरि बोल, हरि बोल। इस ग्रेस महात्मा प्रभु की। तो ये जपा सेशन कंटिन्यू चलने वाला है 10:30 से 1 बजे और 3 से 6 बजे तक ये सेशन भक्ति वेदांत हॉल में चलेगा। जो भक्त ये सेशन अटेंड करना चाहते हैं उन्होंने नोट करना है कि जपा सेशन 10:30 से 1, मतलब आप प्रसाद के बाद अभी इमीडिएट जा सकते हो। और
It's somewhere else. At 10:30, it's going to be a different place.
भक्ति वेदांत हॉल, इट इज जस्ट
Okay.
बिलो द हॉल।
Okay.
भक्तों का निवेदन है कि आप ज्यादा से ज्यादा संख्या में इसमें पार्टिसिपेट होना है। आज 11:30 बजे का क्लास मराठी भगवत गीता श्याम भजन प्रभु द्वारा दिए जाने वाला है। आने वाले इस हफ्ते में कई सारे बड़े बड़े भक्त यहाँ उपस्थित होने वाले हैं। जैसे कि 21 तारीख को हमारे बीच में उपस्थित रहेंगे हिज होलीनेस भक्तिव्रत भगवत स्वामी महाराज। 21 तारीख को महाराज जी श्रीमद् भागवतम क्लास मंदिर में देंगे। 22 तारीख को हमारे बीच में उपस्थित रहेंगे हिज होलीनेस गिरिराज स्वामी महाराज। सो गिरिराज महाराज
When?
22nd and 25th. Maharaj will be here
Oh.
from 22nd to 25th.
Tell him I said, offer my obeisances for me.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay?
Yeah. So
I'm
22nd, Maharaj will be.
Yeah, you're all fortunate. He is like, when I'm with Maharaj, it's like, whatever he said, yeah, how would I explain it? It's like, if you want to know what Prabhupada would say about anything, he knows. That's how I feel.
So 22 तारीख को महाराज हमारे बीच में रहने वाले हैं। 20 तारीख को फरवरी ट्यूसडे फास्टिंग है, एकादशी, और ये एकादशी का पारणा का समय दूसरे दिन 21 तारीख को रहेगा 6:59 से लेके 10:52 तक। आने वाले 22 तारीख को हम लोग मनाने जा रहे हैं नित्यानंद त्रयोदशी। हम सबको पता है हमारे मंदिर का ये ब्रह्मोत्सव भी है, तो ये बहुत सौभाग्य है। ये ब्रह्मोत्सव स्पेशल होने वाला है क्योंकि हमारे बीच में उपस्थित रहेंगे गिरिराज स्वामी महाराज। तो इसका शेड्यूल कुछ इस प्रकार है। 8:30 से 8:30 बजे श्रीमद् भागवतम क्लास दिया जाएगा गिरिराज स्वामी महाराज द्वारा। उसके बाद 9:45 को मंदिर में अभिषेक शुरू होगा, वो 11:15 तक चलेगा और उसके बाद 11:15 से लेके 12:30 बजे तक प्रवचन देंगे हिज ग्रेस राधे श्याम प्रभु। शाम को 5:30 बजे, जैसे हर साल ब्रह्मोत्सव में हम प्रोसेशन निकालते हैं, सभी डिटीज का मंदिर में बहुत सुंदर तरीके से 5:30 बजे प्रोसेशन भी निकाला जाएगा। नित्यानंद त्रयोदशी के उपलक्ष्य में हम आफ्टरनून तक 12 बजे तक फास्टिंग रखते हैं। अब यह आखिरी अनाउंसमेंट है, यहाँ प्रभु जी के कई सारे किताब प्रभु जी ने जपा के ऊपर लिखे हैं, इसके बारे में कुछ जानकारी देना है।
हरे कृष्णा। तो प्रभु जी की जो किताबें हैं, जो सबसे प्रसिद्ध है, जिन्हें हम इंग्लिश में कहते हैं जपा अफर्मेशंस, तो ये हमारे पास में है। ये हिंदी में भी है अभी। इसके अलावा हिंदी
Japa Sanjeevani. Hindi hai. बहुत अच्छा.
इसके अलावा लिविंग द विजडम ऑफ भक्ति, चैतन्य चरण प्रभु कहते हैं कि ये इस्कॉन की एक तरह से पहली सेल्फ हेल्प किताब है। तो इसके 2 भाग हैं, वो भी हमारे पास में है। और हमारे पास में जपा अफर्मेशंस के कार्ड्स हैं, जो जपा अफर्मेशन पुस्तक है उस पर आधारित है। इसके अलावा हमारे पास सेल्फ केयर है। काफी बार भक्तों का ये कहना होता है कि भक्ति में सेल्फ केयर इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, तो शास्त्रों का क्या कहना है, ये किताब उसके बारे में है। अपलिफ्ट योर सेल्फ चेंज द वर्ल्ड, ये किताब भी है। और इसके अलावा हमारे पास में जपा अफर्मेशंस का पोस्टर भी है। तो ये सारी पुस्तकें,
We have 20 affirmations. We put them on cards. Did you show them the card? We put them on cards so you could carry with you and chant. And then we also have a poster, all 20. You can hang on your wall and chant Japa. This puts you in the mood. It's beautiful. And it's 1/10 of the price it's going to sell for in the United States. So if I were you, I would buy 10 and give them to your friends.
तो ये सारी किताबें बाहर बुक स्टॉल पर उपलब्ध हैं। और श्वेतदीप प्रभु ने अभी एक बहुत अच्छी बात बताई है कि भक्ति वेदांत रिसर्च सेंटर ये सारी किताबें ले रहा है। धन्यवाद। सबके लिए प्रसाद अवेलेबल है, और किताबों के लिए यहां पर भी आ सकते हैं, बाहर भी बुक स्टॉल। हरे कृष्ण।
Gauranga Nityananda.
जिन भक्तों को किताब लेना है, बाहर स्टॉल उपलब्ध है, स्टॉल के ऊपर किताबों का प्राइस क्या है ये वहां पता चलेगा और वहां से आप ले सकते हैं। यस, ये किताब जो है बाहर स्टॉल है, स्टॉल के ऊपर उपलब्ध है।
You and everyone. You can come into the. Comment? You can ask your questions. We are taking this seat. We don't do something. This side. Yeah, we have that research center in Pune. We have more than 20,000 this year. Yeah, we have done affiliation with the Pune University. Of the Pune University, we have done affiliation with Mumbai University. And almost more than 10 universities. In many courses, we saw Japa.